Welcome to Why Your Business is Invisible Online, the podcast that connects businesses online with the people they want to serve. Joining me are my two co-hosts, and here they are.
I'm Jim Filatico. When I'm not helping my clients grow their businesses online, you can find me traveling with friends and family.
Hi, I'm Kelly Biggs, and I'm the AT alien of the group. I love hanging with friends and family, and when I'm not doing that, you can find me on Peloton. I've clocked over 2,000 rides so far.
And I'm your host, John Manatas from Oakville, Ontario, Canada, with my guitar in hand, my Wi-Fi on life support, but always in tune with my clients. Okay, so this episode, guys, let's spend some time talking about the myths in our industry, and there's lots of them. Let me go through a bunch of them just so that it'll get the engines going in all of our heads. So here's a bunch of myths that I'd like to go through today if we can. We've all heard the myth around email marketing being obsolete. So love to get your thoughts on that one. How about this one? And see if this resonates. More traffic equals more success is another one. Another one is social media equals more leads. It's another interesting one. How about this one? Your Google business profile, or what used to be called Google My Business, isn't important. And I'm pretty sure we'll have some strong feelings about that one. Reviews don't matter. Now, I think most people understand to some degree that reviews matter, but there's a lot of controversy around where that topic can go. You can set it and forget it is an interesting one. And again, I'm sure we have a few stories around that one. And finally, this one, paid ads will solve all your problems is another good one. So, so give that some thought. Let's kick it off with this email one, because that's I think all of us have some interesting stories around email marketing is obsolete, even though it's been around for years. Is email marketing dead? What do you guys think? Kelly, I know you have some thoughts around that one, some strong thoughts. We'll kick it off with you.
Yeah, I think in a previous episode, I talked about how, you're coming away from a long vacation, and when you return into your work day, and probably the day before, if you're me, it may be, God forbid, even while you're on vacation, one of the first things that you do is check your email. You clean your email box. Mm-hmm. And so, there's some interest in it, and I'll tell you why I think it's important, but there's some interesting statistics around email. This one is according to Marketing Sherpa, but 61% of consumers enjoy receiving promotional emails. So and maybe it's that whole sense of, oh, I get a deal. Like I swear my husband's favorite 4-letter word is SALE.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah. For every $1 spent in email marketing, there is an average of $36 ROI for every $1. So it's a really inexpensive way to do marketing. And so here's another one that I think is very interesting. And this is according to over 1,000 U.S. consumers polled by Small Business Now report. This was in 2021, that consumers are most likely to be influenced to buy 34% via email marketing, 30% via text marketing, which we really haven't talked a lot about.
That'll be a future episode for sure.
Yeah. And then 20% by social media marketing. Now, it's hard. I think that's an interesting thing, because I think it's hard to disseminate. I think when Google Analytics 4 came about, one of the things they started to talk about is this affiliate referral. So I think they all kind of work together in concert. But I say that to say ignoring email marketing is a mistake. And so I'll give you an example. So, I remember, most of the people that call us, they typically call us because we do specialize in growing your business, which means we're going to get you some leads, right? Marketing, at least marketing qualified leads, meaning that the marketing department has determined based on who you said your buyer persona is, that this should be a good person to align with what we sell, right? For the most part. So that lead then requires you to nurture it.
Yeah,
right?
there's that N from our
Right.
FOUND acronym. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the best way to do that, in my opinion, is through email marketing. You capture their email, and then you go into leads. But when people call, they're like, "Hey, hey, this is my version of talking to a home services person. Hey, I need leads, right? Typically like
You forgot to swear.
Yeah,
right.
Sure. Yeah.
They don't even care about them. They like, did you get me leads?
Right. Yeah.
And I paid you this much money, and what are we doing? And so I guess if you're in a just-in-time market, then that makes sense. But also, even if they're contacting you and you got their information, it could be that I don't know anybody now, especially in the home services market, that get one quote only, right? And so if you sent somebody a quote, and I think you talked about this last time, like there's leads probably sitting in your emails that you haven't even thought about, right? So you sent a quote, and if you only touch them one time, like you don't know where they were. Like maybe if it was a pipe burst, if it was, something emergency, it happened. Maybe they did a quick fix on it, right? Maybe they were like, I didn't need the plumber right now and I got it taken care of. But it maybe they just put a Band-Aid on it and they're going to have to do something more extensive down the road. But because you were short-sighted and you just said, okay, the sale didn't happen and I'm moving on, and you did nothing to stay top of mind to them. You did nothing to say, hey, this is what's going through, or hey, what happens when you get a leak in your, I don't know, in your kitchen sink. I'm not a plumber, so forgive me. But whatever happens, what if you start giving me help? You just start, every week I see something, the Lori Gerber thing. Then what do I do next? Like when I need your services, or if maybe I didn't even use you, and maybe my plumber that I did use was horrible, and my friend is asking, hey, do you know a good plumber? You're going to be top of mind to me, right? Yep. And so I think when we have people that come to us and they say, and I have like, hey, go back to, hey, I just want to get leads. Then, we set up this really nice email campaign. And if they don't call you, my next question is like, I like having 2 call to actions on my landing page. One is call me now, or, call me, schedule a consultation. Those 2 things are obvious, but also, hey, if you want some more information, or when I'm trying to call, I'm trying to do some type of a value exchange to get that email so I can nurture them. Now, I don't need it to be first and foremost, because the first and foremost thing I need to do is obviously, if you're in need, I don't want you to have to search of how to find me. You should be able to find me right away. But if I could also, if short of that, if I can get your email and we can start to form a relationship and a connection, right? Which is, our tagline is, how do I connect with the right people? That's how you form connection. I think email is by far the best way for people. You're personally in their space. They are literally using their phones, or they're probably in their home to look at what it is you had to say. Another interesting statistic, though, guys, is when people are looking at your email on the phone, you got 9 seconds. 9
Yeah.
seconds. That's crazy. So
Yeah.
if you have a call to action, if you want to say you're in a sale, make sure they see that in the first 9 seconds. Maybe it's in your subject line. Be really careful about those things. Those are the tricks that really help. And then again, like I said, whether even if it's just a newsletter, like some kind of way, stay in touch with people, which is what I do. And I've done with especially the service industries, because that's where they're going to set themselves apart, because most of them aren't thinking about doing that with somebody that they paid for an ad.
Yeah. No, on the 9-second thing, right at the top of the email, typically I tend to, in one sentence, capture the benefit, like whatever it is whatever idea I'm trying to sell or whatever product or service, capture that benefit. And the next sentence right underneath it, again, without getting into the weeds, in one sentence, capture how I'm delivering that benefit. And right next to it is the call to action, a button.
Right next to it.
Very
Yeah,
clear.
that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah. For detail-oriented people who want to go deeper, there's some information underneath for you.
Learn more.
Yeah, learn more kind of thing. Exactly. But 9 seconds. Wow. How do you sell somebody in 9 seconds? But that's the only way to really do it. Wow. Okay. I've had Jim, any thoughts from your end in the world of email in terms of, because I think what we're saying is it works. So at your peril, you ignore it at your peril kind of thing.
And I'll pile on with the home services situation. And I think the reason that it's important is when, like Kelly said, when you have an emergency, you got to take care of it. But next time, I'm a perfect example of, I don't remember to get things tuned up. I don't remember to get, my HVAC tuned up and everything. And so if I'm reminded of that, there's a better chance that I'll do it. And so one of the home services companies that I have, they send out emails and they actually do texts as well. But they'll say it's time to change your air filter. They'll say, did you remember to change your batteries in your smoke detector? So they're trying to create value and give something away. But at the same time, their brand is showing up in their email box. And they're pretty soft sells, so to speak. So they don't necessarily push for that, but they'll show sales and they're trying to level out. What they've done is they try to level out when they're really super busy. Obviously, they don't need a lot of extra business because they may not have the capacity.
Right.
But when things slow down kind of in between seasons is when they'll make better offers. They'll make better offers and they'll, try to engage with that, because then, if you start working on your furnace, for instance, before the season hits, they're going to be slower. They'll be able to take care of the situation, and you're not going to be at 2:00 in the morning calling them saying, help, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. You have it. Another thing they do is they have different programs where you can have like a membership. And so again, they get a discount. They offer a discount for a member. They get special, like they get first in line and those kind of things, but that's all part of that special email they get, reminding them of the value of that. Because someone that's paying for it, they want to know what I'm getting for it. And that's been very successful for them. And it does take out those peaks and valleys of business, right? When it's super hot or super cold and you don't have enough techs to go out, that's bad, because then they're going to go somewhere else. But if you can take care of it before the season hits by prompting that with an email, then obviously, and they actually do text, phone calls, and email. So they really try to be proactive as far as doing that. And they've been very successful because of that.
Hey, does anybody else do this? This is, I literally just did this the other day. We're remodeling our basement.
Okay.
Right. And so, my designer, anyway, I'm trying to use his services smartly. Set amount of hours that he can work with me. Yeah. So he was like, hey, do you want me to order your towel, or do you want to order them? I was like, I can order the towel. Like, no, don't waste your time ordering a towel for me. So he sends me to this shop I've never been to before. I mean, online. It's an online thing. And, he tells me what to order, tells me the square footage, all the things. So I go there and I'm like, okay. And then I'm like in the cart and then, they ask for my email. I was like, that's right. Let me give them my email first. And then I waited a day to see if they're going to offer me a
Discount,
they're
SALD,
going to
yeah.
offer me a discount because I'm ready to buy. They did not, by the way. They did not. They did not. I was very disappointed. But that's how, if you think about it, if you have that kind of service where you say, hey, sign up, do it. That's a great value exchange. Then that's how you nurture repeat customers. It's a really smart way to go about doing it. By the way, they actually lost the sale because I was like, well, let me just see if let me just type this thing in. And somebody else was selling it and I didn't have to pay for shipping and handling and I'll just go pick it up. So anyway, I bet you if they had given me the 10%, I wouldn't have looked.
That's
I wouldn't have looked.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, exactly. So, that's another good example. Yeah. I was just going to say I tend to use emails quite a bit with sequences. I don't know if you guys have done like multiple sequences where it's that word nurturing again, that letter N that we talk about. But like I'll use Instagram and Facebook to get the original lead, but depending on what the product is, like in this case, it was like elder care type services, and I didn't think it was enough to just do an amazing post on Instagram and Facebook and get them there. I think I really felt, okay, we're going to need some emails here to nurture this before they finally say, I'm gonna use your elder care services. I'm gonna actually use you. And so in this case, I think it was an eight email sequence, and not only 8 emails. I don't know if you guys have done this, but 8 emails, but in between the emails, so you create some space and time between your emails that you send, and every email has to have value in it, and it's a different aspect of the value of this elder care company. You highlight some new idea, but in between you have SMS, you have actually messaging that prompts them just to keep the flow going to make sure you're top of mind. So you insert that. And in this case, I think it was about 8 of them. But by the 8th email, they really understand you, especially if you've added value along the way. They understand your business, they understand your philosophy, they understand a little bit about the owner and their dedication. You've given them videos inserted in those emails. Again, the method is catch them early in the email, the first 9 seconds, and give them something of value underneath. Keep them short to the point. And I found you had to be really visual very quickly. People just don't want to read on and on anymore, like multiple paragraphs. Make it as visual as you can. Explain your visual and make it interesting. Otherwise, we had initially we had drop-offs. People just dropped off because there was a lot of words, not as much visual. So yeah, I know people.
What is that? What's that? That's the thing. TDLR. Too long, didn't read.
Yeah, too long, didn't read.
Yeah.
That applies to emails big time.
Yeah.
But they work. So I say always tie in your lead. So get your lead from Facebook, Instagram, whatever makes sense for your business. But then, if you can attach a few emails to that with a sequence, you have a better chance of converting that customer into a true customer.
Hey, John, you mentioned the visuals. I've seen a lot, and I know it's kind of a back and forth on this. I've seen one where people don't even now, like if you look at some of the really strong people like a Neil Patel, if you look at their emails, there's no visual. There's no visual. And for those of you who don't know, he's somebody who sells to digital marketing agencies. But when he sends an email, it's strictly text. And I've seen that with a lot of people where it's just, we're not going to, because people feel like, because if you think about I think it's subliminal. So if you think about when you're sending a message, if I'm sending you a message, right? I'm not sending you a picture of, look at my idea about let's get together next week. No, I'm getting to your point of getting to the point. Hey, we need to do this. Hey, we need to do that kind of thing. So any thoughts about, does it always have to be completely branded, or in your sequences, do you do just like messaging? I know for one of my clients, what we started doing is people just love her. They really do. They love her. And so like for the last holiday that we did, like she's a health and wellness person. And so and I knew, like, they don't know, but she does yoga, right? And so her word for us, like, we have internal meetings and things like that. She's like, team, my word for the month is kindness, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we were going into holiday. I was like, let's tell the world that your word for the month is kindness. Let's send a message to people. And like, generally we would lead with, hey, we're doing this event. Hey, we're doing that event. This time we led with, and I haven't looked at the numbers, I need to, we led with a message from her. And it's just about, it was something about, thank you for your kind. She was thanking her clients for their kindness and commitment. And so we kind of turned it on its feet that way. But just trying to have, and I did have a visual, but it was a picture of her and nothing,
Yeah,
that makes sense. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
But I just wonder what y'all thoughts are with this. I guess word.
If they know your brand, no, I think you can go to exactly Neil Patel. Everybody knows Neil Patel. That's the thing. His brand is established, and so I wouldn't. You can have 3 sentences with Neil Patel. He gets to the point right away. He gets to the value right away. So I don't think you need all that visual with Neil. However, I think if you're a new business though, and you're just starting out and you're trying to establish your brand, they don't really know who you are. Visuals help. Over time, though, yeah, if your database of people you're sending it to are the same people, what are you going to do? Keep talking about your, what you stand for? They know you already. It just depends if they're new clients, potential new clients versus existing database.
Which brings, sorry for the interruption, which brings upon the point of segmentation is. It's because it's context. There are different email platforms where you can even be like, look, for this segment, this is the email I want to go out. Don't show them this section, right? They don't, to your point, maybe I do want to say my values to people who have never, who maybe signed up for the newsletter, but they've never visited my shop.
Exactly.
I want to say something different to them, to the person that came in yesterday. Right. Like that's important. Context does matter. And personalization, I think, is the most important thing you can accomplish.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I agree with both of you in that, depending on where you're at in that journey, right? Because when someone originally, whatever they do, they find you, right? Once they find you, they don't necessarily know who you are. So for the home services company, if it was just, so they saw something on Facebook, or they saw something, they don't know who you are. They don't have any feelings one way or the other, but they clicked anyway, right? So that, when you get them into the first email, you may want to include some stats. You may want to include some information about the company and that kind of thing. But the next email, once, as you go down the line, you're getting them closer.
Yes. So
where they get to know you better, then it's a different situation. So you can be more direct. You may not need as much information, as much fluff. But I think what's critical is that you stay on brand. If you have a certain type of tone, you want to keep that tone. Like the home services company that I'm with, they're very proud of their values. They're very proud of their mission statement. They're veteran owned. And so that's top of mind all the time, red, white, and blue everywhere. And I think that builds that community, whether you're a vet or not. When you see red, white, and blue, you appreciate it, right? And so they take advantage of that, and I think they do a really good job. And they back it up with giving lunches away to the vets and doing donations and giving discounts certain months and different things. So that'll be a part of the email. So they know, like you said, segmentation, they know who their vets are. So they can offer that email to say, you get a $50 off coupon for the month of October or whatever, to try to get them to do it before the cold season, but still give them a discount. And then that person feels really special because they got the deal. So there's a tons of things you can do to make that person feel like you're directly talking to them. and feel special and feel wanted and feel appreciated. And that's what keeps, that's how you create those raving fans, right?
Exactly.
So that way, next time something happens, they don't even Google it. They just call you. I mean, ultimately, that's what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was my two cents.
No, that's awesome. So clearly, we all believe that email marketing isn't obsolete. So there goes that myth. It's an essential part of anybody's strategy, and we'll elaborate on this going forward in future episodes. But we thought we would lead off with myth busting that particular one.
First myth busted.
And that wraps up another episode. My name is John.
This is Jim.
And I'm Kelly. Thanks for joining. Hey, don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you for tuning in to Why Your Business is Invisible Online. If you enjoyed today's episode, please do us a favor and subscribe and follow us on Spotify and Apple. Be sure to share it with other business owners who might find it helpful. If you want to dig deeper, contact us at ruinvisibleonline.com. That's capital letter R, capital letter U, followed by invisibleonline.com. Or message us on our LinkedIn business profile with the same title, Are You Invisible Online? The information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be considered professional advice. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests and may or may not reflect the official policy or position of WSI Corporate. Always consult a qualified digital marketing expert before making significant changes to your online strategy. Until next time, keep connecting with the people who matter most to your business and join us for our next episode.